This is Accelerated Wicca. It is the Wicca 101, 102, 103 class for wiccanseminary.edu. It is a real college class that's part of a state-recognized degree system for associate's degree in Wiccan ministry. Okay?
And who are you?
I'm getting there. I have asthma. And I am Lady Belladonna LeBeau. I'm the Archpriestess of the Aquarian Tabernacle Church and Dean of that school. That wiccanseminary.edu is the .edu. I say that because that means it's a real school, you know, like we didn't make it up. We have to requalify every 2 years to keep that designation, and they're doing it right now. Yeah, we're talking to the state and everything, and it's a process. We usually don't have any problems with it, but last year there was a new person that came in, and she was like, "You're what?" And so we had to win her over. But I don't have to do that. I have people with master's degrees do that. I just get to teach witchcraft because that's fun. So I have been a witch since 1988. The first time I noticed that God was talking to me, I was 5. And I thought that everybody did it. And it wasn't until much older that I realized that other people couldn't do the things that I could do. I got caught making the wind blow when I was 12. My daddy was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, it's too much wood to burn. I'm trying to make the wind burn the wood faster." And he told me not to let people know that we could do that. So I've been a witch all my life, but I converted to Wicca from Mormonism in 1988. I kept the birthday song though, because it's cool. So I wanted to find out who all your patron deities are, but we'll do that next week. Right now, I just want to tell you that I want to make sure that everybody got their kit. When you come to paganism, you get a kit, and it's got a drum, a cape, a tarot deck, and a food allergy in it. Yours? And usually everybody can only be proficient at one, and they mostly pick cape, right? Did you get yours? No. So, relative truth. There's 3 really important things that you have to work magic. One of them is that you have to know your truth. And you have to understand that everybody has their own truth. See, your truth is based on your experiences and what you've told yourself about those experiences. So, we're all having this experience right now, but each one of you has a different opinion about what's going on right now, even though we're all having the same experience. That's why when you go to get witnesses to a crime, if something happens fast, people remember different facts. Okay? Everybody has their own experience. Everybody has their own truth. You have to find your truth. Our parents give us their truth when we're young. Sky's blue. Tables are for putting things on. Chairs are for sitting. God is this. Blue is that. Okay, and so when we get into school, then our society starts layering on belief systems. And we go to church, and our church layers on belief systems, right? People tell us what to believe our whole life. And some of us go, I don't know if I believe that. I like to challenge that. And those people are usually end up in classes like this. Yeah. You know? People that are like, hang on a second, I want to think a little bit differently from that. I have facts that prove differently from the facts that you've presented to me. Right? And so through that, something in you just says that that's not exactly right. You seek and you find your own truth. And nobody can give you that. Like I can say, this is how I see the world. This is how I see God. This is what I think happens when you die. But if you don't believe that, I can't make you believe it. Oz, the Wizard of Oz, Oberon Zell, he was here last time I was here. He said something really cool. He said, I hope I can say it the way he said it. He said, a mind forced to change against its will holds its own opinion still. Ooh. Isn't that powerful? Yeah. So nobody can make you change your mind. They can stop you from circling in your backyard, but they can't stop you from worshiping the goddess, right? They can stop you from doing a lot of things, but they can't stop how you feel about it and how you think about it. So knowing that you have that power gives you the power to do magic, because that means that reality is not fixed. If reality is not fixed, then you can change it. You can change reality by changing your mind about how you feel about what's going on around you as easily as sitting in the DMV and being pissed off about the wait, and then you realize that you don't have to be at work and do a little customer service, and suddenly it becomes a pleasant moment. You see? It's all about where your mindset is. And you have to pay attention to what you're focusing on, because what you're focusing on is what you're going to get, because this is the first principles of magic, right? How your reality is and how you think about it, what you tell yourself about the experiences that are happening is the foundation to your magic. If you believe that the world's full of crooked people who are going to lie and betray you,
Do you need this?
guess what? You're going to attract every con in town. Because the universe is like, this is the world you live in. This is it. Here you go. And if you believe that the world is filled with people that are saving animals, you'll run into so many people saving the planet by helping animals that it will warm your little heart. Because that's what you're looking for. You will find what you're looking for. So you got to make sure that when you wake up every day, you pay attention to what you're looking for, and that make sure that that is actually what you want. Because I don't know about you, but I wake up every day forgetting that I have all of this power and just going, oh my God, I'm awake. It's better that you're not dead. It's better that you're not dead. Wake up, and you're like, oh God, fight myself out of wake. Oh, what do I got to do today? And then you have to make sure that you wake up and you get all of that intense energy of waking up and coming into your body, harnessed in a positive way so you don't crash and burn for your day, right? You ever woke up and within 2 hours you were like, what the hell with this day? This day gets a 0. I'm going back to bed. So I recommend morning devotionals, because if you wake up and you brush your teeth and you make your coffee and you go to your altar and you have that's your routine, right? Then you have a better chance of having a better day. Because as you learn magic, you sharpen the power tool that is your mind, and you make your magic more powerful. You got to make sure that your thoughts are in the right place. If your thoughts are in the wrong place, the more magical you become, the worse your world's going to get. You ever seen it happen to somebody? The more magical they become, the worse their world was. Yeah, you have. I've seen it happen. It's like, stop. Ground. Focus. Ask for what you want out of the world. The most powerful thing that you can do is pray. The most powerful thing that you can do is pray. Marianne Williams says that. The most powerful thing. When you're a magical person, you don't think so much because we're praying all the time. Aren't you always thinking about deity? Aren't you always looking for the symbolism? And does this mean something? Does this mean something? My spirit God's talking to me. I think this person's got, right? Isn't
Ooh,
that
rock.
Ooh, rock. Ooh, rock. Shiny thing. So, a squirrel just came by. What does that mean? Okay, Google, what is squirrel medicine? Isn't this your life? Okay, because we're constantly in prayer. We're constantly in prayer. We live our lives in a different way as magical people, okay? I wake up, I start praying. I pray all day long. Oh, God has helped me find my boots. Oh, my God, where did I put my bra? God has helped me find my bra. Right? And you get somebody else's phone number, Bella. Pray to God for a minute, for God's sakes. So prayer is a very powerful tool, and we're doing it all the time. So you have to pay attention to the way you think your world is, because you don't know the programs you got running on. Okay? I go all over, okay? I will have men in the South talking to me about women's rights while they're disrespecting women and not hearing it because they're from a different culture and that makes sense to them. Women can't do math. Actually, I can't do math. I thought I could, and then the bank told me I couldn't. Or you find out that you have certain ideas and thoughts that are going on in the back of your head, such as, I'm not good enough to do that. Women can't do that. People that were born in this place can't do that. I can't do that because people have told me that I can't do that. Surely I'm not good enough to be able to do that. All of these programs, you have to pay attention to that because that creates your reality. So every day you have to program your reality. This is one of the foundational things of magic. What do you want to happen with your day? You're a witch. The energy's there. Something's going to happen with it. Are you going to tell it what to do, or are you going to be a victim to whatever it does? So get up every morning and set your intention for your reality. My day is this. Realities are set in the present. You live in the present. Now your mind lives in the past because it's made up of all these experiences and facts that combine themselves to tell you what your reality is. Your spirit lives in the future because it's constantly creating what's going to happen next, right? But you live in the now. So when you are doing your magic, you have to state things in the present. I have this now. One time I did this terrible thing to myself. I got up in the morning and I went outside and I was like, here goddess. Ring, ring, ring. Good morning, Mother. Thank you for this day. This is a wonderful day. Mother, I need $5,000. Please give me $5,000. I need $5,000. Come on now. Please, I need $5,000. Thank you very much. I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for that. Grateful, grateful. Finish my ritual. I go. I sit down at my desk. It's going to be a great day. The guy's going to give me $5,000. Sure of it. Sure of it. Okay. I got to pay bills. What's on my bills? Started counting up my bills. And guess how much money I needed? Yeah. Yeah, it was a tough day. I was like, oh no, I did this wrong. Oh my gosh, I did this wrong. So you have to say, I have $5,000. I have $5,000. I have it. Okay? Or I am this. I do this. I feel this. I love myself. Not, I'm going to love myself today, but I love myself.
Not I lose weight, but I weigh X.
I weigh a slim 145. Don't I look good? Well, I'm rocking it. Yes, present, present, present. And then you want to express your gratitude because are you grateful for the things in your world? Dusty's got this beautiful story about how man was born with a hole in his heart that can never be filled.
It's from Hellboy 2.
Yeah.
It's the best part of the movie.
So you can always want more. You can always want more. It's out there. You got to be satisfied with what you have in order to be happy. And if you will just count your blessings and state your gratitudes every day, you will find that there is so much in your life to be grateful for and that you are so blessed that your reality will change from a place of lack to a place of abundance. And then you'll just be able to attract more abundance into your life because you already have it. You see how that works? That's magic. Okay? Do you see? Okay? You got to shift your reality and then just hold on to it. Marry your dreams and never be unfaithful to them. Right? Hold on to it. Just hold on to it. Every day you tell yourself the same thing. You look, these are the facts in my life that prove this reality is true. Do you know how I know I'm skinnier? Because my clothes are just a little bit looser. Not a lot, but a little bit. So that's true. There's a little bit of ass that moved out. Just a little bit's a good start, and then it just keeps going from there. You get that little bit of momentum, and then you believe it, and then it's true.
May I add something?
Please.
Okay, so one of the examples I really like to give is military. So let's say we all join the military tomorrow. We all end up in the exact same platoon, or the exact same boot camp. Okay? Now, by the end of it, everyone on this side of the room loved it, and they become generals and admirals and career military. But everyone on this side of the room felt like they were part of a conglomerate machine of destruction and hate, and they all quit and became activists. What was the difference in our experiences? We had the same boot camp, we had the same drill sergeant. The only thing that was different was what we decided to do with the energy we were given while we were there. How we decided to see it and utilize it.
Because, and this is a part of compromise, where it really helps you see past the illusions of your reality so that you can see other realities, okay? The reality where everything's great and y'all turn into generals, that's true, right? The military just gets, I enjoyed my military days. I'm a veteran. I think the military is really good for people. Not today's military, but at least the one that I was in, okay? But then this side of the room, that experience is valid too. Okay? Do you see how both experiences can be right? So the important part of relative truth is knowing that your truth is right for you and their truth is right for them.
Your parents were horribly abusive and they did their very best.
All at the same time. All at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah. And all of that exists in the same reality together. And if you know that all these realities exist in the same one, you witch, dial into the one you like and ground. Okay? Stay there. All right, so do you know how to ground? Grounding tools. So grounding, a lot of people don't like to ground because they're like, I want all the energy. If I have all the energy, I can throw it at things. I can do things with it. I'll be all high on God juice or something like that. But actually, that's not a good plan. Have you ever seen an electronic device that's not grounded have the magical smoke released out of it, and then they don't work after that? The magic smoke is what makes them go. And once you let that magic smoke out, it's all over. So you have to ground them so that doesn't happen. Okay? So you have magic smoke in you too, and you don't want to not be grounded. So it's like this. You know, when you plug the toaster in, it will actually heat up the bread. You're plugging into your power source when you ground. And you're becoming a channel for power when you ground. You don't really want to use your power for things because it's finite. You need it, okay? Like, you know, for things like breathing and auto nervous system and stuff. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But, you know, you need it. So the power that you get from the earth, it naturalizes you. It puts you in harmony with the flow of deity. And you want to be in harmony with the flow of deity when you're doing magic, don't you? Because if you're not in the harmony with the flow of deity, what happens?
Swim upriver.
Your whole life gets derailed. You don't want to do things that aren't on your life path. The reason that we teach you to harm none and to work within the will of deity is because when you say, I want this regardless of what my life path is, it precludes you from what you were actually going to get to do. And as much as you think that that might be better, it just never is. Because you picked the path that you picked before you got here, and you knew what you were capable of and what your potential is and what challenges you had. And when you change that to whatever you want once you get here, it's like a kid eating pudding before dinner every night and then getting sick on malnutrition. You know? Goddess has better plans for you. If you will just be within the flow of what Goddess wants for you, you will be happy because that's in harmony with your higher self and with all of the other people in your life.
I got a fishing story about that.
Okay. Let me finish the grounding, okay?
Oh, yeah.
So everybody stand up. So we're going to plug in to your power source. So So easiest way to ground is just take a deep breath. Because that just gives you a minute of clarity. All right? But you may not have time for that. And the fastest way to ground is to bend your knees. Okay? Now, do you see how when you bend your knees, your gravity, your center of gravity just kind of gets lower? And it's harder to push you over? Kind of, see? She's like, she's grounded. But if you come up with your knees locked, I did not exert any more pressure on her. Okay? Do you see? See how, do it a couple times and you see how your energy just changes real easy?
Breathe out as you bend your knees.
Yeah, breathe deep into your diaphragm. Right? Belly dancers learned this a long time ago. So you stand up here like that, and your energy just changes, you see? All right? Grounding is easy. Now, you can sit back down and I'll let you visualize it. We'll do witchcraft. That's the practical stuff. Bella's a Leo. She likes fast, easy magic. I bought one of those staple easy buttons and I have it on my altar and I hit it.
That was easy. That's true.
Okay, now let's go. All right, so close your eyes. And lend me your attention while I take you on a grounding journey. Breathe in and breathe out. And let all of the energy sink towards the earth. Sink towards the earth. Just breathe in all the good, fresh, clean energy. And as you exhale, let it just be heavy. Flow down into the earth. Let gravity just take it down, down, down. And you keep breathing in good, clean energy, happy, healthy. And then when you breathe out, you just follow that energy down, down, all the way down to the very center of the earth, the red, hot, molten core. You connect with it. The center of the earth, the thriving, hot, iron magma of the earth, the light within it that keeps it alive, pumps up into your system, pumps up into that energy system, all the way up, fast, 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 full, strong, powerful into your body. And as you exhale, all of the heavy worry goes down. And all of the powerful, hot, strong warrior energy that gives you the ability to do, to act, to move, to be powerful. It's all right there. Let all the negative fall down. See it like an umbilical cord. You've got the heavy falling away and the hot red energy coming up into your root chakra, filling up your root chakra, pushing energy all the way up into your chakra system. Out through your crown, out through your hands, filling up your whole body. All of the hairs on your head start to tingle a little bit. You might can feel it in your fingertips. But it's gentle. Powerful, but it's not too much because all of the heavy is still connected with the center of the earth, and you are naturalizing yourself within the flow of the universe. You have energy to use. Now think of something you would like to send your energy to. Something that is not going to, it's not about Sally needs this. This is about you. What do you want to send your energy to make your life more positive? Focus on that. And send all of this energy towards that endeavor. You own it. You have it. It's now. You're doing it. It is present day. And if you want to state your affirmation out loud, feel free to. Too soon? Too soon? Okay. Come on back to me. That's all right. We don't even know each other's names yet. Yeah? Feedback? Did it work for you? Yeah? That makes sense? It makes sense that you're plugging into a power source and it's not about draining off your excess energy. It feels better about doing it? Yeah? Okay, good. So, you want to ground as often as you breathe. If you're going to pray all the time, you need to be grounded all the time. You need to know who you are and what you're doing. Remind yourself you're a priest or a priestess, right? If you want to wear something, maybe because I have this, that's this dangly, right? You might want to have a ring, you might want to have a bracelet, you might want to have things on your mirror to remind you who you are. You stay grounded and rooted in that reality. That's how you make magic happen. Yeah, does that make sense to you? Right? Very simple and very powerful, right? Now, the last thing we want to talk about, there are all kinds of grounding exercises. They're in the book, okay? There's water grounding where you just shower. You see the shower cleansing you. And air where you do breathing. There's different ones. The tree, okay? But if you understand why you're doing it, you can come up with any visualization that works for you. It's the understanding that you're plugging in and getting power from the earth, and you're not using your own power for your magic. Or somebody else's. You don't want to ground into somebody else when you get your power. Right? You have that back. All right. So, last thing. What time are we at? 6:56. I'm doing this a long time. I'm fast. 6:56. Okay. Religion versus spirituality. So I was raised Mormon. And so Mormonism like flavors all my magic because I went to Mormon seminary. I have all this Mormon theology. There's 3 kingdoms and there's a temple and there's this great birthday song. It's religion. But my spirituality didn't harmonize with that, okay? Because once I became a teenager, the guilt just, man, I couldn't deal with it. I could not deal with it. I wanted to do things with boys that they did not want me to do. That was a big problem. I could do just about everything else that I can do with that. I wanted to go out on dates. And you're not allowed to date till you're 16. So I had to get up at 6:30 every morning and go to seminary. Pray. But I couldn't go to the movies with a boy. Or drink Coca-Cola. All these other things. And so I did it anyway, because it's really, I'm just a headstrong person like that. I told you at the beginning of this that there are people who, go along to get along, and then there's us. Right? So, the spirituality that I felt inside of myself when I felt God and what I knew about God, and God had been talking to me since I was 5, right? So when I started having all of this inability to live the religion, I started turning away from that. It got a little scary, right? Because when you're disappointing some omnipotent being that knows what you're doing in the church parking lot. Right? So your religion, when it doesn't fit your life, you have to do something else, right? And that's okay. And so we have all of this layers of patriarchy and cultural inculcation that tell us you've got to be in the religion that your parents are in. But your spirituality is unique. It's as unique as you are. Nobody believes what you believe. Y'all don't believe the same thing, do you? No, you believe similar things, but you don't believe the same thing. You can have riveting conversations, and you're like, oh, how do you fit that in? All right, okay. Dusty's a Taoist. Yeah.
So all of your stuff fits into mine?
Yeah. He relates to everybody. I think it's a pretty easy concept, and I mastered it really quickly. It's all one thing, so let's move on. Why are we still talking about it? This fucking Tao is not the true Tao. I don't get it. So what's good for one person is not good for another person. And your reality needs to involve the fact that every single person has to have their own spiritual truth. And if it's that Christianity is my mother Yahweh loves my mother. We know it because she came to church one time when Dusty was invoked with Apollo. And Dusty, after it was over with, Dusty was like, Yahweh loves your mother. I can't even tell you how much. He came in and was like, you tell that woman I love her. Because she prays all the time. I come from a very spiritual family. I bet most of y'all come from very spiritual families, don't you? Yeah. Or just completely agnostic and don't want anything to do with it. Because they've been betrayed by the church. Yeah, see, one extreme or the other. Because it's like a breed. It's like a bloodline, being a witch. It's something that you're a supernatural being. Now, can everybody do magic? Well, everybody can have positive thoughts that create a more positive world, that's for sure. Right? But there's a certain breed that wants to be a witch, and there's a certain breed that wants to be a fairy or a changeling or an Asatru person or a Christian or a Muslim, right? And if your reality is the right reality for you, their reality's got to be the right reality for them, right? And if you can come at your world from that point of view, you can make it safe for everybody to be who they are, and that makes a better world. So if you take nothing else away from today, all right, take away that everybody has their own truth, and if you want people to give you the right to have your truth, you have to make it right for everybody else. But don't argue with your friends about the stupid things that people argue about, because they have a right to their reality. See instead if you can practice your witchcraft to make room for them to have their relative truth while you have your relative truth in the same space, because sometimes that's hard. You know, you ever been like, I just can't be around this person, they're not good for my reality, right? So that's what you can do there instead. Try to practice empathy. And remember, another principle of witchcraft is that when you don't understand something, as a witch, the universe will go, oh, you need to know what it feels like to have, you know. And then the next thing you know, oh, now I know why Granny did that.
Oh, you're judging this? Yeah. Here, this is how you learn why they were in that situation.
Yes, yeah. And then you have to experience that reality so that you no longer have judgment for it, because your spirit guides are good to you and they're answering your prayers.
Bella said, which one of you kids asked what it would be like to live in a divorced house? And Luoxana just slowly raised her hand.
That was me. Damn. Well, there you go. Now you know. Thanks. Good job. She also made her boobs so big with magic that I had to tell her stop. Don't teach children magic. You do not know what they're going to do.
Luoxana choke you out like Darth Vader.
Yeah.
If she's upset at you, you'll just start coughing, and you're like, stop it. And she's glaring at you.
Yeah. My children are very magical. They grew up in a magical household, so.
Well, when you told your dad that you were trying to make it, the wind blow to make the thing, he didn't say you can't do that. He says, don't tell anybody.
Yeah, he said, Donna, are you playing with Mr. Wind? Because I was like this, okay? I started out with going, how can I make this fire burn faster? There's all this wood, and I'm going to be here all day. And the wind goes, poof, and I go, wind, did you blow because I asked you to? And then the wind blew again, and I went, holy crap. Mr. Wind, are you blowing because I'm talking to you? And the wind blew again. And I'm like, oh my God, you're going to help me burn the fire? And the wind blew again. And I'm like, ah! So I'm 12, right? And so by the time Daddy comes out there, I'm going, Mr. Wind, blow! He's like, Donna. I'm like, oh. He says, are you out there playing with Mr. Wind? And I'm like, it's helping me burn the fire faster. It's like, so I can play with Mr. Wind too. Don't let anybody know we can do that.
So was your dad one that...
My dad tried to turn my eyes green when I was little. And I was sitting in his lap and he said, I'm going to turn your eyes green. And I was like, you can't do that. He said, yeah, I can. I'm going to turn your eyes green. And he started doing this in my eyes. I was like, oh, you can't do that. And my mother, Jeannie, said, don't watch your daddy's magic. So I have these little tidbits of space, and my daddy's very magical. He is in the Mormon church now, but when my daddy speaks, he's very charismatic. People come up to me later and they'll go, "Oh my God, I heard your daddy speak in 1973." And I'm like, "Oh, I grew up with him." Yeah, it's not that enchanting of a creature to me, but he is a very powerful speaker and a very spiritual person. And he taught me a lot about magic, and by just his stillness. He says things like, if you don't stir shit, it doesn't smell bad. You know, pearls of wisdom like this, you know. He's like, don't mess with anything, don't mess with other people, and everybody will get along and be happy. Don't be a busybody. And those are really good words of advice. But yeah, he's a very magical person. If he really gets upset about something, you'll come in the house and he'll have some kind of weird spell on top of the refrigerator, and you'll be like, Daddy got the president in prison? What's going on?
That's how we do it.
Yeah. So, yeah, any other questions? Most important things about witchcraft? We got some time.
Comment? When I was taking this class as part of the seminary, one of the things that we were asked to after class was to allow the people the relative truth, see how it changed our days. So I was at the grocery store and I had a little pentacle on. And this man was just glaring at me. Just glaring at me, and I'm like, oh dear God. He had a cross, a silver cross from his neck. So I'm like, oh my Lord, he's going to be mean to me. He's going to tell me blah, 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 blah. And all of a sudden I can almost hear your voice going aloud, telling me of talking about relative truth. So I'm like, hey, just wait, just to see what happened. And then he just smiled and went, and we started having this conversation at the checkout line about the difference between the Wiccan symbolism of the pentacle and how evangelicals have it in Christian history. And he was the most polite, most wonderful, most nicest person I have talked to about that subject in a long time.
I just had the same similar thing happen to me in the Chinese restaurant we were at while we were hanging out waiting to show up here early. Relative truth. You got to make sure your relative truth matches up with other people's relative truth, because that's when you really get in trouble. If your relative truth gets too far out from everybody else's, they put you in a place. They put you in a place. All magical principles can be used to an extreme in bad ways. You're going for the balance, not the extreme.
You are taking a martial arts class right now. Mm-hmm. What you choose to do with it is super important, because you can harm as well as heal with magic.
Yep.
Okay.
We just give you the tools. Whatever you do with them is up to you. I was at the restaurant, and I was walking to the bathroom, and I have on all black, and I was headed out the door, and this guy looks at me, and I'm like, okay, what's he going to say? And then he points at his head, and he looks at his wife, and I'm like, uh-oh. And she turns around and looks at me, and then he points at me, and he says, hey! And I'm like, uh-oh. Right? I have a tattoo on my face. People usually go, is that some kind of devil worshiping sign? Or at least they do in the South. They don't do that near as much up here. So in Seattle, I've had to be like, hey, yes, oh, I'm a priestess of the goddess. Thank you for noticing. I'm glad you like it. Thank you. Yes, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I got through that without anybody attacking me. Yeah, same thing, right? But I could have as easily went, which is what I probably would have done 15 years ago in Atlanta. Relative truth thoughts? Okay, well then, let's do now what I wanted to do at the beginning. What's your name and your patron deity? Let's start here and we'll work deity.
If you don't have one, it's okay.
Deity, you just don't have a patron deity.
My name is Cecilia, and I don't have
Crystal,
Angelina, don't have one.
Brittany and Patron.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
I'm Autumn, and recently, I didn't have one for a while, but I feel like I relate, and that she calls to me Hecate or Hecate, whichever one you want to call her. So
She's the patron goddess of our church. Mm-hmm. I like your, you know, I hung out with them in Atlanta at the
Yes,
Metroplex.
my husband would freak out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when they were
that's
playing at the
awesome.
Metroplex, yeah.
Sue, and I don't have one.
Okay, that's awesome.
Don, Hakate.
I'm Dusty, Dionysus.
I'm Roman. I'm a devotee of Santa Muerte.
I'm Bill, I don't have one.
I'm Mary, and I don't have one yet.
Awesome.
Anastasia. And I was kind of curious about Hecate, but I've been kind of close to Athena, and like the whole Greek picture. So I was kind of, I don't know, I don't have one basically.
Okay.
Julia, Anubis.
Yay! Yay, Anubis is way cool. My best friend is a devotee of Anubis. I did a tattoo on her arm. Yes, and we have pictures of it. And there's all these orbs in the air, and her eyes are completely black, and my hands are glowing. Like black, like, you know, when you put those black things on your eyes, right? And then when we got through with it, we took a picture, and there were so many orbs in it, you couldn't see her. And she said, okay, I'll take it. And she said, okay, now take it. And there were, all the orbs were around her before you can see right in the middle. It was really powerful. It was cool. So those Egyptian deities, whew,
They're so
whew, they are serious.
It
Yeah.
took me a long time to figure that
Well,
out.
Hecate is the patron deity of the ATC.
She's been showing up for me now, too.
The Aquarian Tabernacle Church is 41 years now in its existence. Yay. We put on the continuation of the ancient rites of Eleusis. Do y'all know about the ancient pilgrim in Greece where people go like 3,000 years? The Greek society was all built around these ancient rites where Demeter...
The Eleusinian Mysteries.
The Eleusinian Mysteries. So you know all those ruins? Okay, so there was this city called Eleusis. And that Demeter, the goddess of agriculture, lost her daughter Persephone, who was the goddess of spring, to the underworld. And there's this whole story about it. And the daughter is returned, and this is why we have the cycle of the seasons. When it's cold, Demeter is in mourning. And if you work with Demeter, you know her's not a happy girl right now. Her's sad, cold, rainy, snowy, bad. Nothing
Spring
was
mysteries
right.
will change your life.
So if you go, we do this now.
Change mine.
The continuation. We started it 35 years ago, and the goddess came to us and asked us to return her holy mysteries, and so we have faithfully held the torches for her. It is a huge production. It is a pilgrimage. The gods have their own items. We have 50 boxes, enough to fill this whole room of items that belong specifically to the gods. Each year, vessels are picked to be a deity, and they get the artifacts that belong to that god, and they get to wear them in a living museum where we display the whole rites of Eleusis.
We are the modern continuation of the
Wikipedia
Eleusinian
has
Mysteries.
us in their sites that we're the ones that do it. It's the modern day continuation. If you should look up the Eleusinian Mysteries. A huge deal. It was like unspoken rights, oath bound. People couldn't write about them, and the goddess called us to bring them back, and so that is what we've done. It's a first degree, it's a first degree initiation, but it's not an initiation into Wicca. It's an initiation into the goddess's
Into the
rites of
mysteries.
Eleusis. The mysteries, right? And then there's a second degree initiation the second time you come, and then if you decide to help be in cast and put on the rites, like you get chosen to be a vessel or something like that, that's a third degree.
Which happens when you say, hey, I want to be a part of this. It's not a difficult thing to do.
So Hecate is the goddess of time and space. That's why keys, right?
Crossroads.
And crossroads.
Hounds.
Homes.
That's how
Necromancer.
I bought a statue finally of her, and I have black dogs, and one of my dogs will sit at my altar and just stare at the statue, which for a while kind of creeped me out, but now I think it's really awesome. So
Let me tell you something, blow your mind. Okay, so how many heads does Hecate have? 3. Okay. And she sits at the crossroads to the underworld, right? And dogs are sacred to her. And she wears black And there is a 3-headed dog that sits at the gates of the underworld named what?
Fluffy.
Actually, his name's Spot.
It's what it translates to, yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? So you know the rape of Persephone where they've got that 3-headed dog on it? That's Hecate, you guys. I mean, doesn't that make sense?
3-headed black
It's a
dog of the
3-headed
underworld.
Black dog?
Her animal form.
Mm-hmm. Yep, her animal form. Okay, so not a lot of patron deities yet. That's pretty cool because we do that in week 4, right? Okay, so this week what I want you to do is I want you to practice grounding all of the time. Like right now. And right now. And right now. And do it again now.
And if you feel you have
All the
to,
way home.
uncross your leg. Like when you're
Yeah.
needing to ground, make sure your legs are uncrossed.
So now it's really interesting because you have 2 legs. You have one that goes down and one that comes up, right? So you can just practice it while you're walking, you know, grounding, bringing the energy down and up, right, into your chakra system. Because if you practice grounding all this week and you make it like breathing, next week when I teach you the next thing, you won't have to practice grounding and that thing to catch up. Do you see how that works? All right, it's like math.
First ABC.
Go home and do your multiplication tables and we'll divide next week. All right? And then I want you to look for opportunities where you can apply relative truth. All right? Where somebody doesn't agree with you, I want you to look at their world and look at their reality and see how they can be right in their world. I have this thing called the wheel. I don't know if y'all have seen it. I'll bring some copies next time. I didn't bring anything because I figured that I'll be here. And I had to do this exercise where I put something on the wheel, and the first thing that I had to do was figure out all of what makes something whole. So then I have to figure out all of the details about it. So when you figure out, like, all of the religions, how all the religions can be right all at the same time. How can Christianity, Hinduism, theism, deism, agnosticism, what's the one where you don't believe in
Atheism.
anything? Atheism, all those, monotheism, polytheism, how they can all be right at the same time. That is an exercise that will really blow the top of your head off if you try to do that, because it's true. Everybody needs these realities or they would not exist. Everybody needs these realities or they would not exist. People are not learning the same things. The things that you are learning in this reality that you're experiencing is not the same as somebody in the Middle East or somebody who grew up in Asia, right? You don't have the same thoughts. You don't have the same language patterns. You don't have the same values and priorities. You don't need the same things. So if it's on the planet, it's whole and holy. It deserves your appreciation as a sacred thing. Okay? Does that make sense? Yeah. Can you come from a better place with that reality? Yeah, everybody can buy into that. Because I believe that we live in a safe universe and that everything here is for our best and highest good. I cannot believe, like in my heart of hearts, everything that I know about deity, that deity would put us on a planet that wasn't safe. Right? So I believe in a safe universe. Everything that is here to guide us and teach us something. And the fact that some of us thinks that God is not here talking to us blows me away, because God talks to me all the time. All the time. In flowers and herbs and animals, in my head, in my dreams, through the cooking and kitchen. I'll be stirring something. Oh my God, Dusty, guess what I just figured out? Right? Doesn't that happen to you? And it happens to everybody else. So that means that everybody that is on the planet is an incarnated deity. They are a face of deity. And if you don't understand them, then they hold a piece of your shadow. And you should endeavor to understand them, because by understanding the things that scare us or anger us, we come to understand ourselves more. Babies in cages makes me so mad. It makes me so mad. Do you know why it makes me so mad? Because I spent a good part of my childhood caged up in my room. I spent an entire year of my teenage years in my room. I was not allowed to leave. I had a very unsatisfactory childhood, being a Mormon child, as headstrong as I am. So that kind of imprisonment of a child, the imprisonment and victimization of an innocent, it triggers me. You can't play it on the radio. Dusty knows. He'll go, "Oh, baby, I'm sorry. I didn't know I was getting that." But it's too late for me. I'm upset, right? That's where my shadow is. I can't deal with that. Poor man. I want to throw everything away and go bang on walls. Let those children out, right? And so if I focus on that, I can't do the rest of my work. So I have to protect myself from that reality to some degree, but I also have to know this is why. This is my great wound, right? I'm not here to champion those people. This is my great wound. I'm here to help people, right? I'm here to do a lot of things. Going and standing and being an activist at the ice camps is not what I can do every day. It'd break me down, right?
We were at Occupy Atlanta, and we took wood to Standing Rock, so we will get on the front line.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just putting that out there.
It was hard to leave. It was hard to leave.
Yeah, it was.
Standing Rock. But you
can't do everything.
Yeah.
But you can do one thing.
You can spend all of your energy throwing it into a black hole where you'll never be effective. Or you can spend your energy doing what you can be effective at and making a difference where you can make a difference.
And that little piece.
Yeah.
That little piece, the baddies can't hurt you. Not in my neighborhood.
Right. And there's a lot of different ways. There are a lot of different ways that people make a difference on the planet. If you're the person that's taking out the trash, if you stop doing that, that will be a problem. You're doing good things for the planet. Keep it up, right? When my trash is overflowing, I'm like, I need a priest to take the trash out. Do we really need a priest? I just mean somebody. Somebody. I've had that happen to me before. I can take it out, but I'm not a priest. Oh, yeah, you're fine. Please do it. Please do it. So, your reality, you're in charge of it. When you direct your reality, it's the same as directing the energy of a circle. You cast a circle, you have a plan for what you want, you direct the energy. When you make up your mind that this is the reality that you want, nothing can take that away from you because you are the God of your life. You're the God of your life. You make all the choices. You make the choice to be stuck in the choice you're stuck in if you're stuck. Because being stuck is a choice. I've been stuck. I know what it's like to be stuck. I could have chosen to not be stuck, but it would have messed up so many other things. It was easier to stay stuck. Right? Yeah. Right? Okay, so that's a choice. That's a choice. You are the God of your reality, and the sooner you take control of that, you will stop being a victim. You will stop being the person that life is happening to, and you'll start being the creator of your life. And that is the first three principles of magic. Those three things. Knowing the difference between your spirituality and your belief, grounding, and being in charge of your truth.
Will you bring some books?
I will bring books next time. I did not bring.
They're out.
Awesome.
We only have 3.
Good. I will bring so many.
So
many.
So I've got a fish story that.
Tell the fish story.
Okay, so.
It's really a wheel shocker.
Is it because it was? I see it as relative truth and as putting things in a positive so that the universe could give me what I wanted.
I'm for it.
Okay, so where we live is in the middle of nowhere on the. Oh dear. Hi. So we live on the Skykomish River, and we live down a little side road in the middle of nowhere. At this point in time, there's like 3 people that live on the road full time, and the rest of it's Airbnbs. Okay, and it's the beginning of the fishing season, so people aren't there. It's not a big swing of things, and I've been outside every morning and every night fishing for salmon, and I'm catching nothing. So for a week and a half, 2 weeks, I'm catching nothing. And I wake up that morning, I got my coffee, and I said, Bella, I'm going to feed my family from that river tonight. She's like, sure you are, dear. I know you are.
I believe you.
She's a good wife. And I went out and I'm fishing, and to myself, I'm saying over and over again, please, Goddess, let me feed my family from this river tonight. Please let me feed my family from this river tonight. Please let me feed my family from this river tonight. What I'm not saying is let me catch a fish. Okay? Mm-hmm. So I've told the universe what my parameters are, and I've made them wide enough that it can give it to me in a myriad ways, right? All of a sudden, I feel a tap on my shoulder. We live in the middle of nowhere. There should be nobody tapping me on my shoulder.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And I turn around, and there's a man standing there with a plate covered in tinfoil. And he says, hey, we rented this Airbnb this weekend, and, well, I caught all this fish from this river, but we can't eat all of it. Do you think your family might want it? I'm not saying help me feed my family out loud. I am quietly, contemplatively enjoying the river. And now all of a sudden I'm standing with my fishing pole with nothing on it and this plate of fried fish. And I can't help that I felt a little bit like Jesus. I mean, and so I thanked him and I went inside and I said, well, baby. He was like, where'd you get the plate?
He said, funny thing is, I'm going to feed us out of the river tonight.
Ta-ta! All breaded and everything, fried, ready to go. So once you can program your reality, because how many people here believe in science? Mm-hmm. Science is just when they can finally prove what we've been saying since the beginning. Then they call it science. The universe reacts to your expectations of it on a microscopic level. When we go to quarks, they do what you think they're going to do.
Oh my God, it was Schrodinger's fish.
So if you believe in your heart that the universe acts a certain way, the universe will interact with you that way. Period. Point blank, the end. And that's relevant truth.
Leave it to Dusty Dion to go to the river with a fishing pole and come back home with a plate of fried fish. That's my man right there. That's why I keep him around. Stuff like that all the time. I'm like, yeah, okay. So this is a great life. Magic is something that's real and it's on the planet all the time. And I'm really excited to do this journey with you where we discover how your magic works and you learn how to see it yourself because you're already doing it. You're just not aware of it. And my job is to just hold up the flashlight so you can see it. Hold up the lantern. That's what Hecate does. She goes, look, there it is. All right. All right. Go for it.
Take this key and open it up.
So, yeah. So, next week we're going to talk about balance and harmony and how to harmonize your energy with the world around you so as to impact it in a way that you intend to. We hope you impact the world in a positive way. But just as long as you're aware of what you do what thou wilt be the whole of the law, do what you will and own the consequences. There's all kinds of ways to deal with your magic. Love is the law, love under will. Just know that everything you do to other people comes back to you. So try to be kind and good to each other. All right? Thank you so much for coming. You honor me with your attention.
Thank you, Bella.
You're welcome.